Okay, they made a badass Goblin Rider. Guys, I have one question. What are they gonna name this in the TCG? Because I'm gonna tell you now, it's not gonna be badass Goblin Riders. It's gonna be like really cool Goblin Rider. It's a level 6 Dark Fiend. You can only use the second and third effect once per turn. If you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are goblin monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower goblin monster from your deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one card on the field, attach it to your Goblin Xyz monster as material. Okay, it's I mean, it'd be really broken if it was a special summon. So this is a really good starter because you just normal summon it and it's like a tour guide, but it's level 6. Then you overlay it into a rank 6 Exceed. Right? And then if you end on a Goblin Exceed monster, I feel like the best thing you can do with this card later on is the fact that you can detach it on your opponent's turn and then attach one of your opponent's cards to your monster as Exceed material as like a way of interrupting your opponent, right? That seems like a really strong card overall, because it's a perfect starter card. It's also there's one thing I don't know about this, like whether you can easily special summon this card from your deck if you don't draw it, right? Like if I don't remember all the Goblin Biker's effects, unfortunately. Yes, you can. Okay, nice. So I can even use it in some of my combos if I don't draw it. So I think the ideal way to use this card would be to use it in your first turn combo somehow, keep it as an Exceed material, detach it on your opponent's turn to attach one of your opponent's cards. So it's both a starter and a disruption. That's really, really powerful. We've got Goblin Biker Grand Imprisonment. Quick play spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Tribute one monster, special summon a goblin monster from your deck, but it cannot attack this turn. A quick play emergency teleport requires you to tribute. That can sometimes be a plus though, because you can dodge negation, right? You can dodge Imperm Veiler and then still get a goblin from your deck. Well, that's another way to easily special summon this guy. When a monster declares an attack, you can banish this card from your grave and detach any number of materials from your Goblin Xyz monsters. All face-up monsters your opponents currently control lose 1,000 attack for each material detached until the end of this turn. That's like a low-key, really annoying secondary effect on a card. Like, this is not going to be the main reason you're playing this card. The main reason is always going to be this, which is a solid enough reason, right? Like, this card is already good. But the fact that you can do this on top, like, it makes your stuff so hard to attack over, right? Because, like, you detach one, all of your opponent's monsters lose 1,000. You detach two, everything goes minus 2,000. Like, it's really hard to attack over your stuff. And you can also use it on your own turn. If you ever, like, if there's a big thing you can't attack over, you can just like use this to make everything 0, right? Like you just put 8,000 attack on the board, attack, and your opponent's stuff all goes down to 0. That's I think that's a more annoying secondary effect than you would think on first glance, because most of the time when anything involves attacking or damage step or battle phase, usually to be ignored in terms of the power of a card. And here's the same thing. Like, this would never be the reason to play the card, but it's a really good bonus effect on a card that's already playable. Goblin Biker Grand Crisis. Continuous trap card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Target a goblin monster you control and a monster your opponent controls, or one goblin monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Banish both. You can send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard, then target 5 of your banished goblin monsters with different names, special summon. Okay. The second effect is funny. even though that's probably not happening. So if you're playing this card, it would be mostly for the first effect. It is kind of cute, the fact that you can either disrupt the board or the graveyard, depending on whichever your opponent is trying to do. You know, your opponent is trying to do something with the grave, banish a goblin from grave and the card they're trying to use, or banish 2 off the board. I don't think this is good enough for a for me to play a trap card. I don't think this is impactful enough for this to be played. Maximum, obviously, this would be a one-off if Goblin Bikers can search it, which I'm not sure. But yeah, their first trap is already better. I mean, I guess it's questionable. I don't think you would ever play multiple different trap cards in Goblin Bikers. They have a trap card already. I don't know exactly how good it was. So whether this is better or not. Do they play a trap at the moment? Gigantic's Wet Dreams coming true, yeah. The big Gabonga Andes are gonna eat good, I think. I mean, it's like, the thing is, I wanna keep it realistic. These cards are solid. But you always have to see it in relation to the other stuff that's going on, right? This is from Rage of the Abyss. And no matter how solid these cards are, they are not Snake Eye good, and they are not Fiendsmith good. So I feel like that's this looming shadow over everything in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, unironically, and it's frustrating. Because there's a lot of cool archetypes coming out, and Snake Eyes and Fiendsmith are just like, yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Like that is one of my main frustrations with testing for Euros as well, right? Like I feel like I look at so many different archetypes. I look at them and I'm like, these look really cool and fun if only they were actually good enough, right? And they could be good enough if they didn't overtune Snake Eye and Fiendsmith so much, right? Like I'm looking at Widewoods, even Ice Barrier, Ritual Beast, Goblin Bikers, the Azamina cards, all this stuff. Unironically, looks like it would be fun. But the reality is we need to solve that Fiendsmith Snake Eye problem first. Because that is gatekeeping good card design. Because out of all, literally, quick recap, out of all the cards we've seen today, I feel like everything was very well designed and looks pretty interactive and fun. Maybe except for this one card here, which has an Omni Negate, but it doesn't even destroy. But like, this is the one card that I felt like was not super well designed today. Everything else is completely fine in my book, right? And it's a shame that I can't really actively look forward to it because of Snake Eye and Fiendsmith being so dominant, right? But anyways, let's look at the positives here. They are cool archetypes, and in a world where they deal with Fiendsmith and Snake Eyes properly on a ban list, we could actually look at a pretty cool a pretty cool format.